From the Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio, it's NC Basketball on CBS. Today, the #1 team in the nation, Illinois, looks to remain undefeated as they take on the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson along with my partner, Bill Raftery. Illinois continues to try to march into the record books by becoming the first Big Ten team since the Indiana Hoosiers in 1976 to go undefeated in conference play. And I tell you, they're a terrific team led by 3 really good guards.
They're resilient, there's a toughness, and they're unselfish. The bigs run the floor because they know they're going to get an opportunity to do better than the little guy, D. Brown, the engine that could, knocking them down deep with great range. And Luther had the edge, the guy that can put it on the deck and provide a lift. And Darren Williams tops the Big Ten in assists, but he can fill it up as well, guys.
This is the season for this Ohio State basketball team. 18-11 overall record. Terrence Dials has to be the man.
Well, if this is the season for them, let him touch it. Let him touch it frequently. He's very tough down on the block. He can expect a lot of doubles. Against defensive schemes, he's going to have to provide a lift by stepping out. He needs the ball frequently and has to knock down these to help his club.
The search for perfection continues for the Fighting Illini. 29-0. Can they make it 30-0? We'll see right after this.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Chevy, an American Revolution, supercharged for 2005. Monster, is today the day you get the big payoff? Monster, today's the day. And by lose the carbs, not the taste.
2.1 seconds left. He throws it down the lane. He grabs it. Just down. Fake left. Shots up.
Relive your glory days in the All-State Alumni 3-on-3 Classic. Sign up at allstate3on3.com. That's allstate3on3.com.
Click enter the Alamo.com Family Vacation Sweepstakes. If you wanted to take a Disney vacation, this is the perfect time. During Disney's happiest celebration on Earth, Alamo is giving away 300 family vacations to Walt Disney World Resort or Disneyland Resort, including 5 days, 4 nights, round-trip airfare for 4, hotel accommodations, park tickets, and rental car. Just visit Alamo.com for a chance to celebrate 50 years of magic at Disney Parks. Alamo.com, the official website of the American Vacation.
Somewhere a place for us, peace and quiet.
For those in the academic, medical, and cultural fields whose work serves the greater good, we serve you. TIAA CREF, Financial Services, for the greater good.
To Columbus, we're ready for Illinois and Ohio State from the Value City Arena. Bruce Weber, only in his second year, already has a 55-7 record at Illinois and 2 outright Big Ten championships. A look at the State Farm starting lineup and the 3-headed monster in the backcourt. Head, Brown, and Williams account for 54% of the scoring, 81% of its 3-pointers. On the other sideline, Thad Matta. And keep this in mind, Xavier beat undefeated and #1 ranked St. Joe's in the Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament. They won by 20. Thad Matta coached that team. A look at his starting lineup. Sullinger, Dials, and Harris in the front court. Butler, the freshman, at the point, and Jaquel Foster, very athletic 2-guard. Illinois, Ohio State, sellout crowd. City Arena. Illinois leads the series 159. The Fighting Illini 39-37 in Columbus. Hightower, Hillary, Hartzell, the officials. The first meeting back in January 5th. The Fighting Illini won at 84-65. James Augustine, huge game, 21 points, 10 rebounds. Illinois starting 5 has started every game this season. They are refreshing for college basketball.
Just their movement, their spacing, the way they deliver that basketball, just solid.
The last time Ohio State beat Illinois, March 9th, 2002, at the Big Ten tournament. And for the Buckeyes, they will not be able to go to the NCAA tournament. They are considering this game their national championship as the Fighting Illini control the tip.
And Gus Johnson, the Buckeyes go 2-3 zone with some man-man principles.
We saw him work on it yesterday in practice.
This is middle, and then make a terrific decision. The big guys are good at flashing, turning, and finding someone.
Ohio State trying to slow down the Fighting Illini a bit. And right now, Ed Hightower talking to Coach Weber.
The clock, I think. By the way, you gave his director an incredible start.
Unbelievable.
I guess the shot clock kept rolling, and Bruce is either... He's not actually talking to the officials.
11 on the shot clock right now as the official tries to make sure that the right amount of time is on it.
Okay, our conference call the other day was great. I mean, he gave us a half hour of his time. The media demands for an undefeated team are extraordinary, and yet provided us a lot of information about his team as well as what he expects.
16. A screen by Powell. Ohio State staying in the 2-3 zone. Williams. Powell there for the putback.
Now that's that little circular move they make. He flashed and then got himself to the rim.
Roger Powell, 5th on the Illinois career field goal percentage list. A career 58%. He's a senior.
Thus, they do a great job on their defense. They don't let you turn the corner. They hedge well. They'll switch on occasion, and they'll double down on the...
Dials the drop step and the maker.
A little kiss by the big fella. You're going to have to come big on big with that terrific performer around the basket. He's got jump hooks, a little turnaround jumper.
He's coming off a 29.9 rebound game against Iowa. Illinois.
That was a pass, by the way, guys.
Looked like one. In the corner, D. Brown squares up, and it's good.
How about his improvement? I was talking earlier today, Stephen Bardo, great player for them, about his improvement, because a couple of years ago they were worried about his jump shot. He has worked, he has stretched it deep. Incredible range by the little guy.
Brown, number 1 in the Big Ten in three-point shooting, 10th nationally.
And there's that double, and they drag it. Look at the coverage, though.
16 to shoot. Butler, the freshman, guarded by D. Brown.
There's that high five. Now stretches it out. And then the recovery.
And they turn it over. Williams in transition.
Now look at the numbers, and they spread to the wing.
Robert. Sullinger with the weak side rebound. Ohio State coming off a 74-72 loss to Iowa. In the game, though, they shot 54%. They've lost 3 in a row. Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota.
Sullinger is the one guy that can really get in the lane and do some damage.
Inside Dial. Stripped out of bounds. Will stay right here.
How about D. Brown now? The little guy ran the baseline, helps it. Very tough to accentuate giving it to the postman with this club. They take away your strength.
6 on the shot clock. Butler, Foster to the bucket. Augustine with the rebound. Look at him get it up the floor. Luther head.
And Powell runs right to the box. Look at the ball movement. Crisp, sharp, step right into a shot.
Powell, baseline 12-footer. Pat it out, and a foul inside. Augustine going over the back. Gets ready to start. What should we pay attention to?
Well, the 3-1, the well-oiled team, obviously, that's that great talent, the way they pass the basketball. And you know, for Mercy, gets Dials the touch. He can do some damage. And Ohio State not able to go to the tournament. This is the last chance for love. I don't have much of a voice, but they are geared up. This is their season today for Thad Matta and his guys.
They will be able to compete in the Big Ten tournament, but they're facing a one-year NCAA tournament ban. Here's Dials across the lane, and that's another foul.
And Ingram that time didn't get any assistance. Nobody raked down. This guy is a load to defend. Here, no rake from the side, no rake from the top, and he can do a number of things with that basketball. Big guy like that, Gus, that ball goes on the floor. Somebody's got to come down and help his defender.
The numbers against Iowa. Dials, only a junior from Youngstown, and he's a legitimate coach. 6'9", we saw before the game, and he has very wide, broad shoulders.
Beefy, his touch around the rim, and they like their threes too, so he's an unselfish guy. He'll kick it out. It's covered.
Second free throw good. Dial the shooter. Illinois by 1. The Fighting Illini trying to become the first Big Ten team to run the table in conference play since Indiana in '76.
Nice cut by Ingram. Look how far you have to cover. That's what makes everything available.
D. Brown. Foul. Offensive rebound, and he's fouled.
There's no way a religious man should be this aggressive around the glass. The right reverend, Pentecostal minister, play the game. He got the offensive rebound. Look how they get the basketball around the horn, give you a little bump, cave the defense, and this is what he's been doing all year long. Defense been able to knock those shots down, but every night it seems like somebody else provides a lift for this team. Such chemistry.
Harris picks up the foul. And Powell at the line, his second offensive rebound. Darren Williams, D. Brown, and Luther Head get most of the attention, but James Augustine and Roger Powell are the backbone of this starting.
I mean, they can get numbers for you. They run the floor. Defensively, they're solid. I asked Powell what he did today, for example. Usually he has a service to go to. He said when they get back tonight, they'll have a prayer service at 6 o'clock. And I said, say one for both of us. We certainly need it.
We definitely do. Here's Dials. Draws a double. Pulls up. Can't get the bounce. Powell rips it out of the air. D. Brown. Stolen and knocked out of bounds. Beautifully done by Ivan Harris.
Boy, he really faced the basketball. Very alert.
That Mata yesterday, Coach was talking about getting back. He really emphasized that to this team.
If you don't get back in transition, this club will decimate you. Slice you up early, and yet they can run the clock too. They're a patient team.
This zone, though, slowing the pace. Inside Ingram, turnaround jump shot, pure.
How about him against Wisconsin? Stepped out and made threes. This is a kid who really is a big upside. I think he felt Bill Self had something personal against him. Recruited him at Tulsa. Bill went to Illinois. He ends up at Illinois. Bill went to Kansas.
Turnover. D. Brown in the front.
Great speed. The one-man pass break. People overlook their defense because there's such terrific passes on the other end.
Fighting Illini force 16 turnovers per game. 11-4.
Big thing about them is they make good rush shots. Nice show by Ingram. The recovery.
Butler slicing, left hand, rims off Dials, offensive rebound, stripped out of his hands by Brown. Here comes fast break Brown in the front court. Stop and start, and he drops.
Pressure on you backpedaling. Anybody who plays basketball, when you're backpedaling, there's no way you can control with the foot speed of D. Brown.
Maybe the fastest man in all of college basketball. Illinois on top early, 11-4.
And Gus, the ability or the depth of this team, Augustine got the one foul, take him out because Jack Ingram has become a terrific factor for this basketball team. We've seen him make good judgments passing the ball, and they need Augustine to stay out of foul problems. That's one of the reasons he's out, but also the influence of Ingram on the outcome of a game.
So D. Brown go that he has been heating it up as we head into March Madness. Last 8 games averaging, Coach, 18 points and shooting 60% from downtown.
Well, it's incredible. Nice pursuing the basketball here by Butler. His range is what it amazes me. He's out 27 feet making shots. Ask Northwestern. Good aggressive pressure harass. Sylvester, very creative offensive player.
Has it stripped, picked up, Brown in the front court to the, and a blocking foul underneath. Butler trying to draw the charge. Is called for the foul, and that's what you can't do against this Illinois team. You can't turn the ball over.
And that's one of those plays. Look at, set him up for the strip. Sylvester very good with the basketball, but this is one I thought he should have given back. He has 2 trailers. Normally he would give that up. Thought he had the angle, which he did. You can't catch him This guy has steam coming out.
Butler picks up the foul, third team foul against Ohio State. Now the two seniors will check into the game. Brandon Booth-Cheatham along Stockman. Stockman is a prolific scorer as Butler heads to the bench along with Jaquel Foster. So D. Brown and the Fighting Illini on a 9-0 run. Brown with 8 points already. Booth-Cheatham will run the point. Stockman is the off guard.
Nice show again. They double. They do a great job blitzing. Big Jack to the rack.
Turns it over once again. They're going to have to get it out of his hands. Back-to-back turnovers. Dan Mata can't believe it.
Well, don't they call him Chainsaw? The defense by Ingram. The outstanding student turned defender, taking it all the way to the 10.
On 11-0 run, and they're enjoying this one.
Well, you know, I'm sure the Jack Ingram, and they've been told by the coaches, never dribble in the open floor. He put one over on Weber, taking it strong.
3 steals and 4 points. Sullinger.
Got to get Dials involved, at least with a touch. And he's got to figure out the double. Good job by Ingram going top side defensively.
Sullinger hanging in the air and knocks down a tough one.
Well, that's the one guy I think that can do some damage. A little Michael Redd in his game too, Gus.
Lefty. Michael Redd, a prolific scorer here at Ohio State. Now with the Milwaukee Bucks.
And right now they go, man, Thad Mata figuring, look, the zone has been ineffective, but it's really their ball handling. Nice screen by Ingram.
Williams step back jump shot rims off. Snatched out of the air by Dial. Here comes Stockman. He'll rise. Tracked it down in the corner.
He's out of bounds. Bruce Weber helping with the call. Pretty good officiating group here, huh? Rick Hartzell, Ted Hillary, Head Hightower. TV Ted is his nickname, by the way. Refuses to work unless the monitor's on.
Nick Smith checks in. 13:27 to play in the first half. Illinois on top 16-6.
Stroll to the goal. And Nick Smith, one of those pick and pop guys, an excellent passer too. Sees over the top.
Here's Williams. Nice look. Augustine and one.
Well, you want to see why they're undefeated, Gus. It's their ability to give it up. The unselfish nature of this team. They read situations beautifully. Here's the dive to the rim and the patience of Williams, who'd rather give it up than score. That's why they're a terrific basketball team.
James up. 13:11 to go. 18-6. The Fighting Illini shooting 55%. Ohio State at 33%. Sullinger, Booth-Cheatham, Sylvester, Dials, Stockman.
And look at the cover and then recover. Outstanding team defense.
Sullinger, tough shot inside back. And we'll head the other way. The Fighting Illini coach have accomplished a whole lot this season.
Just incredible. I saw them against Wake Forest early in the year. They ran them out of Champaign. The biggest thing for Bruce, the 14 straight road wins. And what an accomplishment. Great venues in this league.
Here's Augustine backing his way in. He's got jump hook.
He's got some talent. I'm telling you guys, he's a guy that just blends in. Great team attitude.
Sullinger with the step on the baseline with a tip in. 6 points for Dials. Ohio State hanging around.
They keep you busy offensively.
Smith, good box out by Sylvester. Booth-Cheatham in transition, rises from 16 and knocks it down.
They need some open floor opportunities. It's been tough to score in the set defense.
And now the crowd into it here in Columbus.
He can beat you on with putting the ball on the deck or stepping out like this.
Off the heel, Stockman with the long rebound. Here's Stockman. Sylvester for three.
They're confident outside, though. Sylvester can make that shot. That would have brought the house down.
He's a 35% three-point shooter. Williams. And a whistle on the baseline. Illinois, 1 of 7 from the three-point line to start. 11:07 to play, 18-10 Illini. Ending play, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to the university's general scholarship fund, Chevy, and American Revolution. Fighting Illini up by 8 on the road. And everybody has talked about their incredible winning streak, especially in the Big Ten, but their road winning streak is probably even more impressive.
Tells you how tough-minded they are, but also defensively. Howard Hudson's a terrific athlete. Nice step through. You almost don't want to run that high screen. How about that? Bruce Cheatham from deep.
Rebounded by Williams. Stockman closing on him quickly.
Imagine Gracie Wright and Williams in high school together.
Unbelievable.
I asked him last year, how could you guys lose? Well, they seldom did.
Out of the Colony, Texas.
Nice screen again by Augustine. And look at the option.
Williams almost threw that one out of bounds. Down 10 on the shot clock. Here's D. Brown working down. And that one off the mark, ripped out of the air by Foster. Who's Cheatham with a step. Kicks it back out, Foster from the parking lot. Sylvester there, but a nice box out by the Fighting Illini.
Yeah, they're one and done.
Ohio State getting opportunity.
Illinois getting shots, just not making them early.
Rich McBride is checked in.
And he can shoot it, too. He spreads the D as well. All their perimeter people can drill him.
Powell travels. And this defense by the Buckeyes has caused some problems for the Fighting Illini. If Ohio State could somehow knock down a couple of shots and not turn the ball over, they'd be in good shape. Illinois, 38% shooting to start this game.
And their man D has really been good. They balanced the floor. Getting out on the threes and getting some penetration finally.
Nice look, Sylvester to Foster.
The nice motion off the basketball with the bigs lifted. And Sylvester with that good size at 6'7", finds with a chance for 3. Good show.
So Jaquel goes to the line. As you take a look at his numbers, first foul on McBride, third team foul against the Fighting Illini. Head along with Williams in the backcourt.
They're very good at screen, and the bigs set nice roadblocks.
And a foul. Who's Cheatham flipping Luther Head as he turned the corner. Get complete college basketball coverage at CBS Sportsline. And a reminder, fantasy baseball is now available for everyone from beginners to experts. Click on fantasy baseball at cbssportsline.com. How rare is this, Coach? Illinois scoreless in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, they're just not making shots. Here's a nice little pick and pop. Yet he looks. It's got to make hay right now, though, Gus, while they're struggling.
While the sun is shining.
Yep.
That usually means get it down to Dials.
The last time they lifted him and they got that back cut.
Sylvester for 3. Tipped up, Dials. Can he hold on? No. Luther Head with the rebound.
How about that for confidence with Sylvester?
Head down the lane. Up and in.
And that's what Powell does. He runs the floor. There's no way that play would have happened if Rogers stayed in the back. Good hustle. The strip has Head, one of the guys that really does a nice job getting the lane. And this fumble, it's a turnover, except for Powell's effort. Terrific read.
Foster picks up his first 6th-team foul against Ohio State with 8:35 to go. As Roger Powell back at the free throw line.
Yeah, they got the push off. Drive.
And that's McBride's second foul. fourth team foul. Powell with 6 points to start. Stockman off the dribble.
Well, Gus, I like that set. You got a good shooter on Dial's side. You got to hug him. Really opens up lanes.
Ingram straight away.
Look at this hustle.
They grind Reeve block for the Fighting Illini.
Look at the extra pass. The little guy knocking it down. Little nylon. They don't care who gets it as long as Illinois gets it.
D. Brown, 11 points in the first half. He has 2 threes as they go up 23-12. Now Stockman hard around the corner and lays it in.
What a nice screen by Dials. Planted him.
That's one thing Stockman can do. He can really score the ball. Second leading scorer on this team at 12 a game. High pick and roll for D. Brown.
They do a nice job of taking the screen and slipping.
Ingram, 16-footer. Halfway down, Powell, offensive rebound, and stick back.
He's unbelievable. Divine intervention, maybe, huh? He knows ball's going.
3 offensive rebounds for Powell in the first half, 25-14, Illinois. Sylvester, beautiful pass, and Dials hammers it down.
Well, that's a great read. Not only the pass, but the dive by Dials. They caught him in rotation.
Timeout on the floor. 6:36 to play in the first half. Dials 8 points, 5 boards. Illinois with a 25-16 lead.
Head goes out, thinks he's got an open jumper. The extra pass, get the puppy set. The little engine knocks it down. That's the unselfish play that they display game in and game out. And one quick story. D. Brown found out that Luther Head didn't like being the first one out of the game in the rotation. He went to Bruce Weber and said, take me out first. He walks around with Darren Williams' jersey on campus. Very unifying type of attitude by the little guy.
Here's D. Brown now off the dribble, forcing his way down the lane. Short, tipped up and in.
Carter's an excellent rebounder, a guy that's quick off his feet, and they lob to him. When you see him get up in the stratosphere.
Warren Carter, a sophomore. 27-16, Illinois.
Played on the same AAU team as Darren Williams, not the same time, but different years.
Butler picks up his dribble and wants a timeout and gets it.
Well, they're really struggling on that perimeter blitz, aren't they? You know who used to do that the best I can remember? Patrick Ewing.
Wow, he was terrific at Georgetown. All right, 27-16. Yes. 27-16. Illinois 15 on the shot clock for the Buckeyes. Jaquel Foster picking up his dribble. Got a Sylvester. Takes a tough shot and hits.
Wow, it's got to reverse the basketball. Butler on the other side waiting for it. Pretty good result. Look at the way they sprint, Gus, to the spots. A nice show. You get out a little late, they get the open look. How about that?
Carter wide open. Taking advantage of the space. 29-18. Darren Williams leading the Big Ten in assists. Close to 7 per game.
Look at this steal.
Luther Head. And he travels. Good defense by Foster to get back and disrupt his rhythm.
Because that's twice now they haven't committed on that fast break. Points really jumps out at you. That's a lot attributable to the hustle. You mentioned Roger Powell's ability around the rim. How about D. Brown? Making shots and just contributing in any fashion possible. Great ball movement. He has developed a confidence that's extraordinary. The one-man fast break, as you mentioned. Here's the extra look, a trademark of the Fighting Illini, and they're undefeated, Gus.
Tell you what, for a guy that has the nickname the one-man fast break, he is shooting the ball better than he ever had.
And his hero used to be number 11.
I would imagine a guy from Chicago that played in Detroit.
But now he's changed.
Well, actually, he played in Indiana.
Right. But he did play in it, but he was from Chicago.
Yes, he was.
But now it's Allen Iverson.
Wow.
He's current.
And he could be guarding Allen Iverson pretty soon. Isaiah Thomas, Dee Brown's idol. Here's Sylvester, straightaway three.
This kid really knows how to play offense. He had that turnover with the dribble drive against Williams, but against guys his size, he's very clever.
Sylvester with 5 points. Ohio State down by 8. Inside, Powell kicks it out. Williams scoreless so far. Head scoreless. Here's Head.
Small team on the floor right now. This is where Head is tough, I think, getting to the rim.
Good defense by Stockton. Ohio State could get even closer right here. Stellinger. Sylvester. Off the dribble. And a foul.
Well, we've seen Sylvester do some terrific things. His touch away from the basket, more than adequate, but his ability to put on the deck and then find this next trip, very creative in his understanding of the offensive end. 47% from 2. And how about the three-point field goal? That's pretty good.
Sylvester, a 76% free throw shooter, misses the first. Dee Brown picked up his first foul, 5th team foul against the Fighting Illini.
His dad, of course, a player at Dayton, played against UCLA, played in Europe, I think the Italian League, for almost 17 years, so the genes are good.
Got 29-22, 6 points for Matt Sylvester. Fans back in this game now. Illinois showing a little frustration on the offensive end. And a reach-in foul. Sylvester tying up Augustine.
Yeah, it was a foul. Augustine's got to be tougher with it, though.
3:54 to play in the first half. 29-22, Illinois.
Ever since I won all that money on Jeopardy.
$20. Text play to 26222 on your wireless phone. You'll get 20 questions for 20 chances to win a trip to the 2005 NCAA Men's Final Four and a shot at $1 million. Gus Johnson, Bill Raftery with you. Coach Weber, longtime assistant. Gene Cady, who's hanging it up at the end of the season. And Bruce Weber starting to establish his own legacy.
Yeah, great story. When he was at Western Kentucky, he had $2,500. That was his salary. He couldn't afford living situation. He had one lamp. And he had to take the lamp room to room because he was going to read in the other room. And of course, it's turned out beautifully for him. And the first thing he said, you know, who does he owe everything to? Gene Cady. Made him what he is today.
Augustine missing the front end of the 1-and-1. Ohio State can get a little bit closer. Inside, Dials, great catch, and he draws the foul.
Augustine going to get tagged with it, I believe.
Don't forget, coming up on Singular at the half, Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, and Seth Davis will have all the scores and highlights, plus another edition of Tourney Time that's coming up on Singular at the half. And I know Clark in the studio has to be impressed with the way his alma mater is playing the number 1 team in the nation.
I think he's donated most of the money for this building.
Speaking of Clark Kellogg, better known as K-E-L-L-O Good, the 82 Big Ten MVP. He averaged 17 points, 12 boards, a career average of 15 and 10 in 3 seasons in Columbus.
Special K. I couldn't go any place the last 2 days without them asking for him.
And he actually lives here in Columbus, Ohio, biggest city in the state of Ohio.
Big man on campus for a lot of reasons. One of the classiest human beings we've come across in our industry.
Dee Brown, air ball. And here's something interesting. Illini are 11 of 27, 40%. They average on the season, Coach, 51% shooting in the first half. So Thad Matta and his Buckeyes are extremely prepared defensively for the number 1 team in the nation.
Now, they started with the zone, and they did not make shots. They went to the man-to-man after a little bit of a spread in the game. I think it got to 10 points, and that's been the difference. And also, they're ringing the bell at this end. Some toughness, move Dials out. Sylvester made some jump shots. They've gone back to...
You can get them to miss a couple. Their philosophy is maybe Illinois will start thinking about it.
There's Dials established. Nice shot by Ingram. Boy, he's great footwork.
Sylvester draws another foul.
Sylvester doesn't have that blow-by speed. It's sort of a gallop, but he gets there. It's productive.
And the foul called on Darren Williams, his first. So Sylvester goes to 17 fouls against Illinois. And he gets the bounce. Tomorrow on CBS, Miami's hottest pool party gets trashed by a plane. And you won't believe what brought it down. Don't miss a new episode of CSI Miami tomorrow at 10/9 Central on CBS. Sylvester's second free throw goes. And how about this? Under 3 to go. Illinois up 29-24. And here they come. The fans rising to their feet in Columbus, Ohio.
This could be one of those 7 or 8 pass trips.
Quick shot.
How about that screen and pop by Ingram? They do it with Smith as well, and Augustine can do it.
Ingram with 6.
Tough thing to defend, Gus.
But Ohio State on a 10-6 run right now. Stockman running the pick and roll.
Mismatch underneath if they want it.
Inside the runner. Batted around. Ingram takes it out of the air. Illinois on the break.
Universal move the D.
D. Brown.
Look at that spin out of traffic.
Williams straight away. Off the heel. And he gets his own rebound to the bucket.
How about that blow by? Alert play. He's got strength and reaction. Maybe not the speed of D. Brown, but understands the game.
His first back under 2 minutes, 33-24.
So impressed with Ingram's post denial.
Sylvester is also, coach hit some big shots, spinning, and draws another foul.
Might be Williams, is it? Number 2? Just the understanding of reacting to a play. This is one a lot of guys with less courage would have backed off and balanced the floor. Parks the seas, takes it to the rim.
Up his second foul, and that sends Sylvester to the line. 8 points, 3 assists for Matt Sylvester. Now Carter comes in for Illinois, and Jaquel Foster for Ohio State.
You know, earlier in the telecast, you mentioned Thad Matta, his Xavier team beat St. Joe's, which is a terrific story, obviously. And then this year, the one thing he did say, maybe my Xavier team was a little better. They were a tough team, went deep into the NCAA. Nice back cut, good show.
Sylvester scored the last 9 points for Ohio State. Ingram.
They all break you down. You got to play them.
Foul inside. Knocked out of bounds by Sal with 11 on the shot clock.
Terrific reaction defensively, and Ingram with a great look. Really worked to get it to Powell.
And coach, I really love the way this Ohio State team on the perimeter is posing on shooters. Actually, Powell was fouled, and we'll go to the line. Sullinger's second.
This is it for them, though, Gus. They know that this is the most satisfaction they're going to get.
Next Sunday, who's in, who's out, who's playing whom and when. Get it first and get it fast with Greg Clark and Seth Billy Packer on the NCAA Basketball Selection Show. Second free throw going for Powell. 10-point lead for the Fighting Illini.
Force you to catch it real deep, and here's that blitz. Nice look, and the foul reach hit. I believe it was head from the weak side. They've really adjusted to that blitz now. Good, seem to the right spot.
So Luther Head called for the foul. That's his first. Thad Matta in his first season. 18-11 record, 7-8 in conference play. Dial with 9 points in the first half. Also 5 rebounds.
It's interesting talking to Thad yesterday. We got to make, which most coaches will say, but we thought they have to do what they do better, that nothing really happens easily against a team like Illinois. You're not successful every trip.
Luther Head rejected out of bounds.
Woo! Great reaction twice now. And Dials with the big body. The clear out gives Luther Head the opportunity, but look at the big fella from the rear.
Actually, I think that was Foster.
Underneath, he got it, but just great support for Foster.
Foster, a terrific athlete. Doesn't have the athletes that they will have down the road with Coach Mata.
Looks like a little zone on the inbounds.
About a 10-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
Sprint through. Nice flash.
Ingram rims off, and Butler picks it up. Ohio State will play for 1 shot. Shot clock turned off. Game clock at 14.
Charge.
Offensive foul.
Boy, is that support. You've got to split the basket defensively. Occasionally you can't get there. This is just a wonderful, of course, a lot of people are going to disagree with that call, but I just love the attention to detail, and you can't blame the house. That was a chance for 3. Was that a big swing, Gus?
Certainly was. Game clock at 5 seconds. D. Brown.
What a turnaround, huh? 6-point swing. 3 one way, 3 the other. Pivotal.
And they're not happy with it here in Columbus. That's the end of the first half. Illinois up 38-27. Now let's go to Greg Gumbel standing by in New York.
Thanks, guys. Coming up on Singular at the half. Yesterday, a lot of teams may have played themselves into the tournament or out. That's one of the topics in Tourney Time after this message and a word from your local station.
Waterhouse, the alternative to higher-priced brokers. And by Nivea for Men, more evolved skincare.
Welcome back to Columbus, the #1 team in the nation, on top of Ohio State 38-27. Gus Johnson along with the coach, and you have to credit Ohio State and the way they played. Terrific energy in the first half.
I love the adjustment. Start zone looked okay, but man-to-man got them back in, and also on the offensive end, they've handled the ball screen doubling in a few turnovers to the detriment as Jag Ingram takes it to the rack. Valuing the ball becomes very important, guys. Second chance points, just the hustle plays. You got to come up with them. That's what Illinois does. That's why they get the bounces. They're like the Yankees. Well, or the Red Sox now. The backcourt scoring, you know they can fill it up. We talked the three-headed triumvirate on the outside. And, of course, the leading scorers, Brown on the one end and Dials, who has nothing handling the double. Maybe soften the belly of the defense by giving him a few more touches. That alongside him, Brendan Miller. You did the tournament when he was at Butler, right?
No doubt about it. Terrific player. The first half stats brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Okay, we start the second half. Butler, Dials, Sylvester, Sullinger, and Foster on the court for Ohio State.
Look at the matchup. Brown, size, and Sylvester on the wing.
Inside Dials, another great catch. Banks it home.
And a nice read because the guy helping was Brown from the ball high and completed the deal.
Luther Head, Powell, D. Brown, Augustine. And Darren Williams on the court for the Illini. Here's Head off the dribble.
Augustine never looked for that shot. I thought he had a good look there, Gus.
D. Brown wide open. Short arm that one. Powell, another rebound on the offensive end. And a new shot clock. 4 offensive rebounds for Ryan.
And what a presence. Kicked it right out. Didn't do anything silly.
Head. Got it.
And he is a guy you don't give a second chance to. This team really responds to one another. Give the extra look.
Luther Head, a finalist for the Rupp and Naismith Awards for the #1 player in college basketball. And he was overlooked coming into this season, but has had an All-America type year. Leading scorer on the Fighting Illini, 16 a game. Sylvester.
Job by Williams. Bellying up, shows his strength.
Darren Williams the other way.
Great ball reversal, little screen by Augustine. Now this is what I think he can do for this team. He can make that shot. He's got to take it. Keep him honest.
Sylvester in the front court to Sullinger. Skip pass, Foster rises and hits.
Nice look, a little counter. That's the Illinois look. Spread the D, skip pass. I think Augustine could do some damage on the box with Sylvester. Powell's bringing Dials out.
That one off the mark. Batted out by Augustine. Another offensive rebound. Now Darren Williams.
Darren's very good at using the jump stop when he gets in the lane.
Ohio State just digging in on defense, sticking with them. Tough shot, Augustine can't get it. And a foul inside. This will go again.
At first I thought they were going to go Sullinger. They're going the other way.
Ohio State drawing the foul, and this one going against Illinois. Powell's first foul. Butler walks it up the floor.
Nice slip to the goal.
Dials.
How about that? Williams is the one that made a miss. Great rotation down to the box.
Luther Head. Got it again.
The edge. Reminds me of Kenyon Martin when he went to the New Jersey Nets. That extra step up. Intimidation, aggressiveness, asserting yourself.
44-32. Illinois. And a whistle.
A little nickel-dimer for Augustine. You can't afford those.
And this Illinois team trying to set a school record for wins. 31 is the record. The 1989 Illinois team that finished 31-5. Steve Bardo, Kendall Gill, Kenny Battle, Marcus Liberty, Nick Anderson.
And you think they were better than this team?
Oh, they were better. They would have beat this Illinois team by 15.
But Steve said we were more athletic. He didn't say we were better. How old were you then? You were probably...
I was a senior in college.
Oh, you really? I thought you were maybe in 8th grade.
I'd like to be.
A little kid. Shooter. Oh, look at that. Now, that's not good. Sylvester just tried to trip Ingram in the middle of the floor.
Remember, Coach, in 89-90, there were 18 first and second round draft picks out of the Big Ten alone.
Wow. Well, Glenn Rice obviously was with Michigan in it. But this kid has just stepped his game up. Providing a lift when there are foul problems. Augustine out with the third personal.
Ingram with 8 points off the bench. 46-3. Dials back to Sylvester. Beautifully done.
Old-time basketball. Step and go.
But Ohio State needs stops on defense. And they definitely have to rebound the ball on their defensive glass. They've given up offensive rebounds this afternoon, 9.
Now this team's going to keep running their offense. Now, you become fatigued as the game winds down.
And a steal. Sullinger, 3-on-2. Foster, Butler for 3. Just can't get that one momentum-busting bucket. This Ohio State team.
Close, tantalizing. Don't ring the bell. Look how many guys cut to the basketball. 2 that time.
Resets it.
They run motion, and they camouflage some set plays. They'll run staggers out of it to get a double screen. High-low.
Ingram's been hot.
Look at Powell work. They're going to give him a foul?
Yes, they will. His second. 14:48 to play, second half. Illinois up by 10.
Enjoy the countdown to Selection Sunday with CBS Sports and Coca-Cola.
A member of the Basketball Hall of Fame, John Havlicek, played for Ohio State from 60 to 62. He helped to lead the Buckeyes to 3 consecutive trips to the NCAA National Championship game, winning in 1960. And his jersey recently retired here in Columbus. Hondo.
Hondo, his son Chris, played for truly great individuals. Can run all day. Speaking of running, Illinois Not able to get those transition baskets for Bruce Weber. Struggled a little bit, but Ohio State tantalizingly close. Can't ring the bell. At 9 had the open 3. Couldn't convert.
Who's Cheatham checks in now for the Buckeyes. Sylvester, Foster, Dials, and Sullinger.
Automatic switch on the perimeter. Sylvester should take Brown inside.
Dials calling for the ball. He's got position on Ingram. Now he goes to the other box. Sylvester off the dribble. And it goes out of bounds. Lucky bounce for Ohio State. And let's take a look at our All-State alumni update. Hondo had his jersey retired on February 27th.
Look at that record, Gus, huh? Hall of Famer.
Won a couple of games with the Celtics, too.
And how about the Cleveland Browns drafted him as well? I think Red Auerbach's delighted. The green and white in Boston.
Brown to the basket and a foul. D. Brown going down hard.
That's that quarterback football mentality that he possesses. He played it in high school. Sometimes the headband gets in your eyes, but the ability to smoke, to blow by, and take on all comers. He's got that little baby hook around the rim, that aggressive nature. With his stokes the fires of the Illini.
Who's Cheatham picked up his second foul. As he misses the first, and D's mom in attendance, Captain Brown blocker. That's where he gets all the speed. You get all your talent from your mom.
And your niceness, generally speaking, right?
That's right.
And the skill development is what Bruce Weber said has improved this team. The motion, the fast break, the pitch ahead, the unselfish philosophy that this team exudes makes them special.
Al Stockman in the game. Here's Cheatham.
Look at that. They just don't waste a run by. Get the hand in there. Look at the offense has started now with 15 on the clock.
Here's Cheatham working off the dribble, gets down the lane, and the off-balance shot. He draws a foul.
Williams usually pretty good at containing.
There's Steve Bardo, is the announcer for this Illinois radio team. And the last time the Fighting Illini back in 1989. Now think of the backcourt. Steve Bardo, Kendall Gill. Bardo 6'6", Gill 6'5". Kenny Battles, along with Nick Anderson. Marcus Liberty coming off the bench.
Are you suggesting Lou Hinson didn't do a good job?
Oh, man.
Steven.
Lost that tough game to Michigan in the Final Four. Sean Higgins with the tip-in Seattle. Glenn Rice at 29. 3 fouls now for the Fighting Illini, 47-37.
And they opted to go bigger with Carter in the lineup. Trip defensively. Now, you don't want to foul for Ohio State. Be solid.
They spread it for D. Brown. Got to hurry, 2 to shoot from the park. Beautifully done by Ohio State.
Great trip. They got to match that intensity on the defensive end. Illinois really gets after you. Got to counter Bruce Weber's guys.
The Ohio State defense coming to play this afternoon. They've held Illinois to 40% shooting. Fighting Illini, a 50% shooting team on the year. Sylvester, we got the box.
The crawler, softness, feathery release.
15 points for Matt Sylvester.
He's very confident in the lane with the bounce. This is where Luther's got to step up. Nice job defensively. Good read by Foster. Once you get in that lane, that little drop step to the middle, he tried it earlier against smaller players. This time he's got a match and gets it to go down.
The fans really getting into it now. Calling for defense.
This is when Luther's got to be contained. He's the guy that's effective.
Ingram travels. Don't miss a minute of March Madness. Access live video to all games outside of your viewing area, plus live tournament press conferences, highlights, and more. Sign up for NCAA March Madness on demand only at ncaasports.com or cstv.com.
Moose, nice ball fake to set it up and over the top dial. That's one of those unnecessary. Want to stay on the floor. Don't get the cheapies.
Dials picks up his first. Nick Smith checks in, replaces Jack Ingram.
Now, this Illinois team doesn't mind playing away. They really emphasize not letting the crowd influence you. So teetering right here to get the crowd converted key times.
Lutherhead.
He's got the speed to go by Sylvester. And then that should be offense. That should be offense, Gus. He did not go straight up. He went forward. This is a break. That's one of those plays. Kids watch the NBA, and usually you'll get this against you. But here he comes. Now watch. That initiates the contact. A smart play. That's where he steps up. This is a guy that makes plays for this team.
As Sylvester picks up the foul, his third. So Lutherhead, an 82% free throw shooter. At the line, shooting three. Second one good.
What situation? Hand-delivered three. Guys just bite on that pump fake.
And he got all three. Had 12 points in the last 8 minutes. Sylvester, the kick, Stockman. Sylvester working the base. Foster in the corner.
A great use of the baseline pass for the opportunity. Look at this guy, put the motor. Great help by
And he draws the foul.
Gus, that's tough to contain. I mean, how do you get in his pin? The only thing you can do is take the sideline away and hope that some help comes to the middle. Get over here is the only thing you can do, and look for some help in the middle. Woo!
CBS Sports coverage of NCAA men's basketball. This message and a word from your local station. On Missouri, and later J.J. Redick leads the Duke Blue Devils against Jawad Williams and the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Now, this is what I don't understand. Nobody's talking about Kentucky as the #1 seed. Everybody's talking about Kansas and Wake Forest and North Carolina, obviously Illinois, but it looks like Kentucky's getting a national diss.
Well, they're on the second line waiting to see what happens. They could be a #1 seed very easily if they win the SEC. For example, is 4, struggles a little bit. They don't have what you call a star. They just have a great team, great intensity on the defensive end, and it's one of those things I think Tubby really enjoys. They give him everything. Different guys step up on different evenings.
#3 team in the nation, the Kentucky Wildcats. Biggest lead of the game now for Illinois, the #1 team in the country, looking to run the table during the regular season. A win today, they pick up #30. Sylvester leans in.
That's what they've got to do, that mismatch. Take advantage of it. And they do with Sylvester.
Let's take a look at Rapp's #1 seed.
That's why you want Kentucky, because you want to disagree with me. A little discord here on the foul. Now this could all change Sunday night.
Well, Kentucky ranked higher than Wake, rather than Kansas.
What if Carolina loses to Duke later today? But what a day on CBS, incidentally. Everything is subject to change. That's why I hate picking these.
Now they got to the last ball. Sylvester adds the free throw. 9-point lead for Illinois. Sylvester, 18 points today. And Thad Matta trying to keep his team motivated.
I just like the move he just made. That's been available. The mismatch of Brown on Sylvester. Right it.
Here's Lutherhead.
Basketball, that's what, he just doesn't have the stamina to play extended minutes, but pick and roll, pick and pop. Wonderful stroke.
7-2. Nick Smith. They got to go back down to Dials. Great position and one.
Boy, they step up. They do a wonderful job of overloading, getting everybody on one side of the floor. Solid. Sylvester earlier on the post-up. Two nice moves by isolate 6'7" on roughly 5'11". And the advantage here is the hand comes around the rim, and this is why they give the extra. Is still up there on the touch and a chance for three. But this, the lift of everybody, there's no support. Nobody can come from the top to help. And Smith unarmed as Dials takes him to the rim.
Dials at the free throw. 15 points. Smith, his first foul. Illinois with 16 fouls now at the 10:36 mark. Ohio State trying to play giant killers. Smith.
The ball doesn't hit the deck unless it's for a positive purpose.
Head off the dribble inside Smith. Beautiful.
How about that? The heads turn. They hear the bounce. Everybody focus on the dribbler. Smith, hands prepared, and delivers.
Head with 6 assists. And he's in the top 5 in assists in the Big Ten this season. The number 1 guy is Darren Williams. The number 3, Sylvester, backing up on Brown. And a foul on the baseline.
You know what Illinois has to do? Here's the penetration by Head, the guy that really does take advantage. Draws 2 people. Smith with a great cut to the hole because they're active. I think they've got to double Sylvester. Brown's going out. If he's going to stay in, I would run the double just like you might on a bigger guy. Or a postman, I should say.
So 3 fouls on Brown. And Sylvester shooting a 1-and-1. So Illinois over the limit at the 9:57 mark of the second half. With 17 fouls, D. Brown checks out. McBride comes in. Carter also leaves the game. Darren Williams in the game. Second free throw for Sylvester. What an afternoon. He's got 20. Buckeye.
This will be a pacing trip unless a great one shows early.
Lutherhead has been effective with dribble penetration. Smith. Head from downtown. Off the mark. Bruce Cheatham with the rebound. Let's see if Ohio State can get that momentum-building bucket on this trip. This place will explode if they score. Dials! And they can't do it.
A nice attention to detail. 2 people on Dials.
Powell. Tough shot. Partially blocked. Stockman grabs it. Foster.
Don't be in a hurry.
Sylvester's been on fire. The kick.
Good job by Cheatham here.
Here's Dials working on Smith. Back to Booth Cheatham. Oh, there we go.
How alert by Cheatham.
6-point game. 55-49 time on Illini. Ohio State continues to knuckle up on their home court.
All coverage is sponsored by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Powerade. And by the entirely new phenomenon from Lexus.
55-49. Ohio State closest since the first half. And during the halftime activities, the Buckeyes introduced the new athletic director, Gene Smith, who's a Cleveland native, played college football at Notre Dame, coached with Dan Devine for 5 years in South Bend. He is currently the athletic director at Arizona State. Andy Geiger as the new man in charge.
The new man in charge here, and they got a good one, is Thad Matta. They've run some nice stuff and patient, and they've collaborated on the defensive end to keep up with the quick pace of the Illini. Alley-oop.
Backdoor Williams taken out of the air by Dial. Here come the Buckeyes. Stockman. Fires.
Whew. Couldn't beat the look. He worked so. How about him shooting the ball yesterday? He converted 10 for intervals.
head down the lane, the teardrop, and air ball. Saved from going out of bounds into the hands of Booth Cheatham.
Doesn't need it. Good heady play.
Foster inside, Dials, jump hook, got it.
And he pinned off by Dials. The read on the alley-oop, he has just stepped up the last couple of minutes.
He has 17, 55-51. Ohio State really fighting here against the #1 team in the land.
This team has a lot of weapons, though. Nice step through.
Dials rips it out of the air. Here comes Booth Cheatham. 6-0 run for the Buckeyes. Sylvester backing his man in.
Good decision. Nice slip.
Pops open. Dials the tip, no.
And Dials is late coming down the floor.
D. Brown off the mark. Roger Powell with the offensive rebound.
And the big
stick back.
And the big guys were at the rim. Dials just can't keep up. Augustin ran the floor. Powell ran the floor. Therefore, the ensuing bucket.
5 offensive rebounds for Powell. And Dials has been the man here for Ohio State. They got to get it to the big fella.
I think he's a little fatigued. That's when you make a mistake, and they get a timeout now.
And Mata wants to give him a break. 6:33 to play in the second half. We've got a 6-point game in Columbus. To change everyone's life on the island. And one tried to struggle to stay alive comes down to a no-holds-barred fight to the finish. Don't miss the new Survivor CBS. Talk about a fight to the finish, Coach.
Well, this one, the motion does tire you. It's tough to defend. Then you got to run the floor. Dials needed that blow. Didn't get back. Powell converted.
Foster down the lane on the hot double clutch. Dials is there for the follow.
The respirator worked, huh? Got him back into it.
57-53. Illinois showing some chinks in the armor on the road. Defeated 29-0. 15 in conference play.
What a
inside
pass.
Augustine and one.
How about the pass by Brown to the baseline hand, and that tells the big guy, drop step and take it to the rim.
6:11 to play. Back after this.
We got gas too, man.
Turned it around. 18-2 here. That's a no-no. Ohio State having to work so hard. Just love when Brown gets in the game. Look at the angle of this pass. Just a great read. Tells the big guy to go to the rim. And the one thing we were told by Bruce, the key to the season was the improvement on both ends of the court by James Augustine. Guard Eric Williams early of Wake very well, and then Mike Wilkerson of Wisconsin well. This kid is a key component of this team.
Talked about those 18 second chance points for the Fighting Illini. 11 offensive rebounds, 6 coming from Roger Powell. Now Augustine at the line. And he completes the 3-point play.
You know what keeps the back of my mind? The end of the half, the block charge wiped out a possible 3-pointer, and then Luther Head gets a look at the other end. That's 6.
Who's Cheatham backing his way into the front court. Sylvester.
Helped by Williams. Ingram does a pretty good job at his post defense. Dials.
Sylvester off the dribble. Sweeping hook, no.
And Augustine right there. Here's the run out.
D. Brown.
Look at this little guy.
Tipped around. Dials got a hand on it. Stockman's wide open on the other side. Foster steps into a 3. And hit.
What an unselfish play. Solid in the open floor. Stockman could have taken it. Thought his partner was in better position.
4-point lead. That one kicked by Stockman.
Bruce Cheatham with a great look cross court, set that up. And then Stockman at high time. Look at this look now. Just Bruce Cheatham, a very emotional day for him, Gus, as we know. He lost his mom in the fall. The dad, an old friend of mine, and known Bruce since he was a camper at the 5-star camp. Sad day, but one of the truly great things that's happened this year. I think Thad Mata, as the bench, has worked very hard this year.
Here's Luther Head, 15 to shoot. Steals it back. High pick and roll. Head keeping his dribble alive. Ingram, Williams on the baseline. In and out. Rebounded Bruce Cheatham. 3-on-2. Stockman fires off the heel.
Well, they had numbers and they had people at the rim.
4:27 and counting.
Dials is tired now. He's not playing anybody.
Now he picks up Ingram.
And he didn't want to go out. He wanted to stay around the rim. The lefty hook. Look at this kid.
Another offensive rebound. Missed the second.
Look at his effort.
Augustine again. Refusing.
What a ticker. These guys have made him believe in himself, I think. Just looking at tape.
13 offensive rebounds for Illinois.
Dials just is fatigued at this point.
Sylvester for three. Mata needs a timeout right now. This Ohio State team is dead tired.
Well, they sure are. Ingram's got to keep busy. Look at this. Guys aren't back.
Loose ball. Foster, great effort. Dives for it. And D. Brown fouls him.
Number 4, Gus.
What an effort by Jaquel Foster. 3:30, 62-56, Illinois. But the Buckeyes continue to fight.
Gives him 4 opportunities. Now the poise, slow enough to finish, kiss it home, and get back.
There's Augustine, but this Ohio State team trailed by 12 points, 51-39, with 11.5 minutes left. You have to credit Thad Matta. He is really getting his kids to play hard. This afternoon, not as talented as Foster shoots 1-1. 57% free throw shooter. Great concentration there.
And Gus, he had the statement earlier, prove you are the best team not in the tournament, Thad Matta. And they certainly are a team that would be considered if not on suspension.
Jaquel Foster got both. 3:37 to play.
Here's where you get Lee. I would keep moving Dials, by the way. They are with Augustine. Make him work. There's the screen. Look at the slip. What a nice play. What a heads-up play by Bruce Weber. They can see little fake the screen, slip to the goal. The big fella finishes.
Here's Bruce Cheatham.
Zone up in the back. Here.
Sylvester, the scoop! Sylvester taking things in his own hands. They've got to get the basketball to Dials. He's their best player.
And on this end, Augustine, a lot of screens, a lot of motion. Bruce not happy with the set.
Big possession here for Ohio State on defense. Augustine has scored the last 7 points for Illinois.
There's a little staggered pick and roll. The big slip to the box.
Luther had almost lost it. 4 to shoot. D. Brown in the corner. Augustine got it away. Foster with the rebound.
You are right. Dials is begging, but Augustine doing a great job. They're going to come double.
Here's Dials. Off balance. Woo!
What an effort away from the traffic, though. What a heads-up play. What a big fella.
He's got to touch it every time. 2 minutes to go. Illinois by 4. Ohio State needs a stop. Augustine, he's been terrific. Pivots and travels.
And a nice double to help Dials. Traffic comes from the baseline. The good read by the big guy gets himself in position, rattles it home.
The big fella, Dials with 21. He's got to touch it. Sylvester.
Powell now matched up.
Sylvester to the bucket. Oh! And we've got a 2-point game.
He is schooling with the ability to bounce.
Bedlam in Columbus. I know Clark Kellogg is going crazy in New York.
I'm sure he is. The alma mater.
64-62. Illinois trying to remain undefeated against this scrappy bunch of Buckeyes. Here's Luther Head. And a whistle. Time out of Illini. Set the bench. 1:15 to play in the second half. 64-62. Back after this. The game reset. Illinois has led by as many as 12, now down to 2. They have the basketball. Each team with a couple of timeouts in the possession arrow favors the Fighting Illini. Let's check out the CBS Sports Line stat of the game. And it's second chance points. Illinois 24. Get CompleteGame.com. The Fighting Illini are shooting 40% from the field, but 13 offensive rebounds have given them 20 second chance points.
And they are not running into their sets of late, and that's caused them some problems. We mentioned Stephen Bartow before. He told me they're playing like they did against Michigan, and you remember at the end of that game, D. Brown come up with steals to seal it. There's a lot of guys who can make plays.
So here's D. Brown, 13 to shoot. Darren Williams. Crossover dribble. Inside. Pow, block. Oh, man.
The big guy. Styles stepping up magnificently.
Ohio State can tie it with a 2. Take the lead with a 3. Under a minute to go. Sylvester spinning. Fired. Styles blocked out nicely by Roger Palm.
Good defensive stance to contain Sylvester. Forced him to settle. Didn't have the big guy to blow by that trip.
64-62, they spread the floor. Williams running the pick and roll now with Augustine.
Williams turns the corner and finds if he doesn't have it for himself.
The kick, D. Brown, 7 to shoot. Luther Head, the senior. Rebounded by Stockman.
Dad's got the timeout, yep.
What a game in Columbus. Ohio State will make Illinois earn every bit of it. 12 seconds to go, and we've got a 2-point game.
Is this parents against kids? Parents, are you tired of your kids going over your family's wireless minutes? And kids, tired of them hassling you just for talking? Well, good news. Sprint got rid of ugly overages.
Protect your family from ugly overages. Now, 100 extra minutes only cost $5, at least $35, and unlimited Sprint PCS to PCS calling is included.
Now you can save your money for the cleaners.
Thank you. Sprint PCS.
Chevrolet players of the game, Roger Powell has been a rebounding demon. 11 rebounds, many coming on the offensive end. Matt Sylvester, a career-high 22 points. He averages 7 a game. In recognition of their determination and outstanding play, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund, Chevy and American Revolution.
Where they overload with Dials, get everybody on one side of the floor. They back screen and get the big guy to the box. Any dribble drive, Illinois will rally, and he may be kicking it out to get an open look, whether it's a 2 or a 3.
Matt Sylvester is 1 of 4 from the 3-point line. So here we go, 10 seconds to go. They need a 2 to tie, a 3 to win it. Sylvester for 3! Oh! Oh! With time on Illinois! Unbelievable! 65-64! .1 to go. Ohio State 65. They've got Illinois on the ropes in Columbus. Sylvester having the game of his life.
Absolutely. They run the nice double screen. He pops out. Nylon. Some onions by Matt Sylvester. What a great set play. And the follow through. Look at that. He wanted the timeout to set up the defense.
5.1 remaining. The #1 team in the nation, though, has the ball. Back after this. This week, Xavier beat undefeated and #1 ranked St. Joe's in the Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament. Thad Matta coached that team. He's 5.1 seconds away from pulling off another tremendous upset.
And you might see a back screen and the home run pass. You can actually catch and do some damage.
They have to go the length of the floor. D. Brown, Augustine. Darren Williams knocked out of bounds by Stockman in the front court, though, with 2.2 to go.
That helps them. They can get their offensive set, their sideline out of bounds. They can catch and put it on the deck. They used 2.9 seconds on that inbound.
Debron is their best shooter from long range.
Watch the fence to bite.
Williams. Luther head. Here's Paul. Air ball. And it's over. Ohio State has shocked the nation, knocking off the #1 team in the land. 65-64. What a game. The madness has begun already. Another look at the final play.
Matt Sylvester will be revered for years to come. There'll be no dancing in the NCAA, Gus, but they'll be dancing in Columbus tonight.
Bruce Weber can only watch for the second year in a row. A Thad Matta coach team knocks off an undefeated squad. What a win for this scrappy bunch of Buckeyes from Ohio State. 65-64.
And here's the last attempt. Powell doesn't really get a clean head trying to finish it up around the rim. Oh my goodness, how good can it get?
For Bill Raftery, this is Gus Johnson saying so long from Columbus. The final, 65-64. Illinois falls for the first time this year. Up next, Kentucky, Florida, Kansas, Missouri. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the men's NCAA basketball championship.
Tackles 51 in the paint.
Oh, great.
Juwan Williams unable to get it to go, but he'll step back to the line for two.